Rose, it's Monday, and it also happens to be April 20th, aka 420, a day in which many people in North America celebrate as the unofficial holiday for marijuana and marijuana culture. So, I thought it was only appropriate to do another episode of Misconception Monday on the common misconceptions of marijuana. Before we begin, I want to preface by saying that although there are a lot of misconceptions about marijuana, there's still a lot we don't know about the effects of weed on the body, and when it comes down to it, it is still illegal in many places. So, don't take this information as us condoning drug use, but rather as a way to get caught up on the most recent information about marijuana. With that being said, misconception number 1. Probably the most commonly used argument by opponents to marijuana is that marijuana is a gateway drug, meaning that it has the potential to lead users to want to try harder and more dangerous drugs. And while there is a correlation between marijuana use and other drug use, as we here at Nathan and Rose say all the time, correlation does not equal causation. Instead of weed leading you to use other drugs, it's much more likely that people who are going to use harder drugs anyway are also going to use marijuana. In 1999, the Institute of Medicine of the National Academy of Sciences compiled a report for Congress and concluded the following. There is no evidence that the drug effects of marijuana are causally linked to the subsequent abuse of other illicit drugs. So there you go. One of the most dangerous problems with any drug is the risk of overdose, and although it is technically possible to overdose on THC, the active chemical in marijuana, it is not physically possible to consume enough THC to reach this level, or even remotely close to it. Because of this, there have never, ever been any confirmed deaths from marijuana overdose in the history of the world. It's just not possible. Much of this comes from the portrayal of marijuana use in pop culture. However, many successful people, leaders, artists, athletes, and even scientific geniuses throughout history have been marijuana users. While some studies do show that frequent use of marijuana can lead to lower levels of dopamine in the brain and therefore lower levels of motivation, other studies say that there is no relation. Most likely, it depends more on the type of person that you are. If you use weed to relax and unwind, you probably won't get much done. However, some people report using marijuana as a way to help focus or as a motivator. Some people even claim that it helps them get through physically demanding tasks like manual labor or marathon running, which is probably the most anti-lazy thing that you can do. This myth actually comes from faulty research done in the 1930s. Monkeys were exposed to smoke from burnt marijuana and the effects on their brain were studied, and it was shown that they had suffered serious brain damage. It was later discovered, however, that the monkeys had been exposed to so much smoke they had actually suffered severe suffocation. And what is one of the main symptoms of suffocation? Yeah, brain damage. Marijuana produces zero withdrawal symptoms, so unlike drugs like cocaine, heroin, or alcohol, it is not physically addictive. However, many frequent users do report that they enjoy the effects of marijuana use so much and receive so many benefits from the drug that they simply don't want to stop using it. However, they wouldn't experience any negative symptoms if they did. Many people believe that marijuana causes violent tendencies and crime. This is more likely a result of the dangerous world surrounding drug trafficking, and many places are now showing that by making marijuana legal, that drug trafficking goes away. I mean, why would you buy something in a sketchy alley from a stranger with a gun when you could buy it in a store? In conclusion, even though weed is likely not as dangerous as many people think that it is still illegal in many places, and when it comes down to it, the law is the law. So, if you want to use marijuana, I suggest going somewhere where it's legal or speaking with your local government about changing the law. And with that, Rose, we'll see you on Wednesday.